Alright, so Dokkan dropped the EZA details for LR Hit and God Goku. This has been the Extreme Z Awakening people have been looking forward to for the past, like, I don't know, week and a half, basically, or even longer for many people. This is a very interesting moment, in the series, and with the new Int Hit, people really wanted to see this guy get an EZA. Now, I haven't looked at the details just yet. I know I'm a little late on this, but it is what it is. I guess one advantage is that we're able to look at Halroot's defensive calcs, so that's something we could kind of get a better insight on rather than just like gauging the numbers based off details by themselves. Now, let's hope these guys are good. Yellow coin LR EZAs, I think a lot of times are a hit or miss. So I'm gonna be hopeful. But let's go ahead and see exactly what Hit and God Goku are doing here. So they do get a 170% leader score, which makes sense here, which is, honestly, that's not even bad. Accelerated battle on USS 170%. Like that, you could make that work if you really wanted to. Let's see here. So Key 5 and 200% attack and defense, 20% damage reduction. I do like the damage reduction addition. That's something that I said I wanted them to get. A little bit of damage reduction would be nice. Ideally more, but we'll see what happens. Attacks guaranteed to hit. Yes, an additional attack that has a high chance to be a super and then a high chance to dodge. And this is literally what I said I wanted from them, because the thing about all of this here is that, like, a lot of this doesn't activate until they attack in that slot. So them moving basically all of this, like they move the stats up. Well, not all the stats here. They moved all of this to just something that they get, except for, I guess, the disable enemy guard, but especially the high chance to dodge. I think that's the important thing. They move the high chance to dodge to a basic effect rather than something that they need to attack for. I think that's a really good addition. And we'll see what else happens. So with HP 67% or more, they get an additional 10% damage reduction. So if you start the turn off with 67% HP or higher, they have 30% reduction plus the high chance dodge. Not looking like a strong slot one option just yet, but we'll see. When attacking, they get 67% attack and defense, then disable the enemy guard, which is basically this and this becomes multiplicative now. Except that 6 key. Okay. Well, the 6 key is here now. Okay. Actually, they have an extra 5 key. I think that's pretty good. As the first or second attacker in the turn, they get key 6 and a 160% attack and defense. Then chance of evading enemies' attack and damage reduction rate 16%. So that's potentially 46% damage reduction. And then a 66% chance to dodge as the first attacker. Or the second attacker. I don't know if this passive is still going to only activate after they attack. I assume they may have changed how it works. They have done stuff like that before. But it's not something I'm going to be able to tell until we actually have them in game. So yeah. For every attack received or evaded as the first or second attacker, 20% attack up to 100% multiplicative. Key 7 up to 170%. Launches an additional super. Interrupts the attacked enemy. Then for every attack performed as a third attacker, 20% defense up to 100%. So you would really want this if they want to be slot 1. I mean, this should be switched around, I would argue, right? I mean, the thing about them being in slot 3 is that, okay, so you have their first super, you have the additional with the great chance, you have the guaranteed one, and then the hidden potential. You could get 4 of these built up instantly turn 1. And that 40% multiplicative defense is probably gonna, like, you're gonna see a pretty, like, substantial change with that. this 80% defense. Did I say 40%? I'm at 80% here. You're going to see a pretty substantial change. And this is pretty good too. The 170% attack. I guess, I don't know. I guess they gave him this because of that. And it's better to have it like this. Like something that stays rather than just one time here. What's their super attack effect? Let's take a look at their super attack effects. Maybe they're a stacker? I don't know. That could be something that they've changed. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. 12 key, greatly raised attack and defense, colossal damage, great chance to stun. Greatly raised attack and defense for 4 turns. Okay, I'll take that. 4 turns is nice. So they want you to like float this guy off sometimes. I guess, is their idea for this guy a floater? So like sometimes, like, I don't know. That's the one thing I'm like, it's like they want you to float him off, but like you kind of want to keep this guy on rotation with God Go Green Hit. Now, what I would say is that I could see this character potentially get some pretty nice defensive stats once that, especially once that extra 100% is built up. I mean, look at their link set. Let me see. Can I bring this up here? Cold Judgment, Shocking Speed. That's 30% defense with God Go Green Hit. Quite a bit of defense that they're gonna get, and I assume that with the new int hit they'll share a lot of defensive things, so we'll see here. So let's take a look at what Halberd's calculations are. Oh yeah, they do have the active skill as well. Once they get this active skill off, that's 13% attack defense, and the reason why I'm really liking the built-in additional is because they want to do 3 more supers. I mean, I guess, do you like instantly float them off? Like turn 1, you float them off until and get most of their build up, and then you could potentially get this like by the time they come back around. I could see that. Okay, so without support, start a turn 300k, and then after attacking, you know, with an additional, let's say they get an additional 980k. Well, that's okay. That's not even counting their slot 1 passive. So in slot 1, they'll get 450k defense start of turn with the 46% reduction. They definitely will need to dodge though. They're definitely a slot 2 character. That's for sure. They're not anyone you're going to be putting slot 1, so that's fine. I mean, 1.5 mil, they'll have the damage reduction and the dodge. The damage reduction is going to help with the normals, but the dodge is what they need to do with against supers. So 66% dodge chance against supers. So fully built up in slot 2, I mean, 2.4 mil with the 46% reduction. Is that still going to be enough though? Like against supers? Let me check something. I mean, again, let's do like a 5 mil super. And then what that is 2.4 mil. I mean, they get a lot, or with the active skill, huh? No safe FX stack. Okay. However, you're killing me here, buddy. It's still 2.4 actually. Yeah, okay, I guess that's fair. 2.403. This is without the active scope off, though. Keep that in mind. And then what? They have 46% reduction. That's also considering that they're above the HP threshold. No guard. I mean, I don't know. It's like topo, physical topo. Well, physical topo, I guess they'd be type advantage. So this is. They would take. They're extreme class, right? Because it's hitting God extremist here. Yeah, they're taking 700k. Because they're extreme class. If they would get a triple super though, or they would get a double super, 3 mil. I don't know, it just changed that. The small numbers don't matter. They're taking 148k from a 5 mil super. I know the STR Jiren hits for 5.7 mil. 500k, and that's without support. which, being fair, it's not like, you know, Inte provides support. But there's the 13% active skill. So, like, I don't know, let's assume that they get the 13% active skill as well. So that is how much defense? That's 3,004, and then 323. And I assume you would, yeah, you would just multiply that by the 13% because it is a pure buff. So that's a 3.39 million defense there. I mean, they're taking it for 200k if they get a double super. But they also have to be fully built up in slot 3, which I don't think is the biggest steal, honestly. I don't think it's like... It can be annoying sometimes depending on how you want your rotation set, but it's not going to be the end of the world, especially early on in very long fights. Now, also, if they get locked in slot 1... I mean, locked in slot 1 here, 1.35, like... No, they'll just... I think it's either they're gonna get one shot, they get hit. But you also have hits Ghost Usher effects, which could be very useful. And in terms of damage, I can see these guys doing some pretty decent damage, especially once they're also built up with the extra 100% attack. I like these guys. I think they seem really good. With int hit especially, I think they seem really good. So we also have upcoming content, of course, Extreme Super Battle Road, and then Fighting Legend Frieza. New missions, which is interesting. I mean, I think new missions against this easy stones, very, very easy to get, so that's nice. Let me know what y'all thinking about God Goku hit though. I like them. Thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.